Just recently, in the heart of Silicon Valley, a decade-old stadium underwent a major renovation. But this is no ordinary venue. It was one of the biggest promises in the country, one that failed to meet expectations from the very beginning. With colossal 4K video boards delivering more than 40 million pixels, one of the most advanced distributed audio systems in the league, and a powerful digital backbone on a scale expected from the tech capital, Levi Stadium is determined to finally deliver the level of prestige it fell short of the first time. And when the gates reopened, so did the doubts. Will the promises finally be fulfilled? And how is it that the stadium's #1 problem never even made it onto the agenda? It's time to dive into Santa Clara's revamped gadget, and unlike last time, this one has no intention of leaving doubts behind. Long before the renovation began, Levi Stadium was already carrying a complicated reputation. When it opened, it was marketed as a forward-thinking, tech-savvy home for the San Francisco 49ers, a venue designed to reflect Silicon Valley's innovation culture more than traditional NFL nostalgia. On paper, it was efficient, modern, and digitally ambitious. In reality, it quickly became one of the league's most debated stadiums. Within just a few seasons, fan feedback and media coverage began circling the same issues: uncomfortable heat exposure in large seating sections, a sterile atmosphere compared to older NFL venues, and a sense that the stadium prioritized corporate functionality over emotional connection. For a franchise steeped in legacy, the disconnect was hard to ignore. That heat issue was not incidental. Levi Stadium is oriented on a strict north-south axis, a decision that left the visitors' sideline and large portions of the seating bowl exposed to direct afternoon sun. Over time, the problem became so pronounced that visiting teams publicly complained, and the stadium's orientation became one of its most cited design flaws. Location was also part of the problem. Situated in Santa Clara rather than San Francisco proper, Levi Stadium was always a geographic compromise. While the site allowed for modern infrastructure and proximity to tech campuses, it also distanced the venue from the urban identity that defines many iconic football stadiums. Over time, that distance became symbolic, not just physical, but cultural. Yet despite the criticism, Levi Stadium remained operationally successful. It proved capable of hosting large-scale events, including college football championships, international soccer matches, and major concerts. That underlying functionality is precisely what made the next phase possible. The renovation was overseen by the Santa Clara Stadium Authority, with the San Francisco 49ers managing operational planning. The project team included Populous, DevCon Construction, and audiovisual consultant WJHW. Planning for the renovation started with a clear reality. Levi Stadium was about to host some of the biggest events in sports. Super Bowl 60 and the 2026 FIFA World Cup came with fixed deadlines and strict technical and broadcast requirements. The stadium didn't need to grow, it needed to perform better under pressure. Architecturally, the challenge was restraint. The original design by HNTB was never intended for sweeping structural changes a decade later. Any update would need to work within the existing footprint, preserving the stadium's core geometry while dramatically upgrading the experience layered on top of it. That constraint shaped every planning decision that followed. Instead of chasing visual spectacle, planners focused on performance. How does the stadium behave when every seat is filled and every phone is streaming? How does it serve fans who expect seamless digital access alongside traditional live spectacle? And perhaps most importantly, can perception be shifted without altering the building's bones? Those questions set the stage for what came next. A renovation defined less by concrete and steel, and more by systems, screens, and expectations. And once planning turned into action, the real test began. What unfolded next would reveal whether vision alone could overcome the stadium's past. Construction began in the 2024 NFL offseason and continued through 2025. From day one, the challenge was uncompromising. The stadium had to remain operational. Every upgrade had to be installed, tested, and commissioned within narrow off-season windows, often overnight, before the building reopened to the public. The most dramatic transformation came through the stadium's video systems. Levi Stadium removed its original 2014-era LED boards and replaced them with next-generation 4K HDR displays. Working with ANC, the venue installed two main video boards, each measuring more than 16,000 square feet and roughly 70% larger than the previous screens. To put their scale into perspective, each video board covers an area comparable to more than 3 full-size basketball courts placed side by side. Together, they deliver a combined 40.4 million pixels, about 4 times the pixel count of the old system, positioning Levi Stadium among the largest 4K video setups in the NFL by total pixels. Beyond the main boards, the upgrade expanded across the entire venue. In total, the 2 primary video boards and their supporting displays now account for nearly 50,000 square feet of LED surface, including expanded ribbon boards that wrap continuously around the seating bowl and an extensive network of supplementary screens throughout concourses, clubs, and premium areas. The result is significantly improved clarity, brightness, and content flexibility for both fans and broadcasters. These massive end-zone displays now anchor both sides of the stadium, enabling real-time statistics, synchronized graphics, multi-language messaging, and broadcast-quality replays, all essential requirements for FIFA World Cup matches. Installing displays at this scale required reinforcing mounting points, recalculating load distribution, and upgrading seismic bracing to meet California standards, all while preserving the stadium's original primary steel structure. Audio upgrades addressed another long-standing issue. Levi Stadium previously relied on a more centralized sound approach, which struggled to cut through crowd noise during sellouts. The renovation introduced a fully recalibrated distributed audio system, adding speaker zones across all seating levels. Sound is now digitally processed and tuned by section, improving speech intelligibility and music clarity without excessive volume. Behind the scenes, the renovation also reconfigured Levi Stadium's broadcast and production infrastructure. The stadium's control room was rebuilt to support modern IP-based workflows, including ST2110 standards and a full glass-to-glass 4K production ecosystem. The project also introduced upgraded LED field lighting designed to meet modern primetime broadcast standards. The new lighting system delivers more consistent illumination across the playing surface while improving energy efficiency, ensuring the field meets the visual requirements of high-definition broadcasts during night games and international matches. Beyond what fans can see, the renovation also included upgrades beneath the playing surface, with improvements to the field's drainage and subsurface systems to meet FIFA requirements ahead of the 2026 World Cup. The stadium's digital backbone was completely rebuilt, with high-density Wi-Fi access points installed throughout the seating bowl, concourses, clubs, and suites, supported by a modernized distributed antenna system for cellular service. Inside Levi Stadium, the upgrade introduced a Cisco Wi-Fi 6 network and a 5G distributed antenna system designed to handle tens of thousands of connected devices at once, with data usage reaching multiple terabytes per event. The goal was simple: fast, reliable connectivity during sellout crowds, where digital performance now matters just as much as what happens on the field. Inside the building, premium spaces were extensively modernized. Levi Stadium contains more than 165 luxury suites, with over 120 of them renovated as part of the project. These upgraded suites received upgraded interiors, improved lighting, enhanced climate control, and integrated high-resolution displays tied directly into the stadium's video and audio feeds. There are several distinct club spaces, each designed for a different type of fan. The BNY Mellon clubs sit closest to the field and focus on proximity and exclusivity, offering direct sightlines and controlled access. The East Field Club emphasizes indoor comfort and protection from weather, a notable contrast in a stadium known for sun exposure. The United Club and Levi's 501 Club cater to mid-bowl premium seating, blending lounge-style interiors with consistent field visibility. Meanwhile, the Yahoo Fantasy Football Lounge reflects the stadium's tech-forward identity, integrating screens, data-driven presentation, and social viewing areas rather than traditional luxury formality. The renovation also targeted everyday fan friction points. New frictionless concession stands were added to reduce wait times, while open-air patio bars expanded social gathering areas across the concourses. At field level, approximately 20 new premium seats were introduced to bring fans closer to the action, and the 49ers team store received a refresh as part of the broader upgrades. Together, these changes focused less on spectacle and more on comfort, flow, and keeping fans engaged throughout the game. By completion, Levi Stadium looked much the same from the outside, but internally, it had become a fundamentally different venue. Sharper visuals, clearer sound, resilient connectivity, upgraded hospitality, and systems capable of handling the heaviest demands in global sport. Before reopening for the 2025 NFL season, all major systems underwent phased testing and commissioning, including video synchronization, audio calibration, network load simulations, and broadcast integration. These dry runs were essential to ensure the stadium could meet NFL and FIFA operational standards under full capacity conditions. The question now was whether all this technology could do what architecture never quite managed: reshape Levi Stadium's reputation rather than just upgrade its performance. By the time the $20 million renovation was completed, the message was clear. This was not about ambition anymore, it was about correction. The renovation was framed as a revenue protection strategy, not a speculative upgrade. Premium seating performance, sponsorship value, and major event hosting rights, such as Super Bowls, international matches, and future World Cup-related events, are directly tied to broadcast quality, in-stadium technology, and fan experience. Without intervention, Levi Stadium risked losing its place in that top-tier rotation. In that sense, the $200 million investment functioned less as an expansion of the stadium's promise and more as a financial reset. The renovation was carried out under the authority of the Santa Clara Stadium Authority, with the San Francisco 49ers playing a central operational and financial role. While the stadium is publicly owned, the funding model relied on a mix of stadium reserves, future revenue allocations, and team-supported investment, rather than new broad-based public taxation. This approach reflected lessons learned from the stadium's first decade, during which operating costs, debt servicing, and competitive pressures proved more demanding than originally projected. Public opinion remains divided. Supporters view the project as a disciplined alternative to billion-dollar new builds, proving that a decade-old stadium can be modernized without demolition. Critics, however, point to a deeper disappointment. Despite the scale of the investment, the stadium's most notorious issue, severe sun exposure on one side of the seating bowl, remains unresolved, with no meaningful attempt to mitigate it as part of the renovation. What has changed is the nature of the criticism. Complaints about outdated screens, weak connectivity, and underwhelming presentation have largely faded. Looking ahead, the renovation positions Levi Stadium for longevity. Its rebuilt digital backbone allows systems to evolve incrementally, reducing the likelihood of another massive overhaul. In an era where stadiums are judged as much by data capacity as by design, that flexibility is critical. Levi Stadium may never escape its complicated legacy, but a decade after opening, and after a carefully targeted correction, it now enters its biggest moments better prepared than ever. Not reinvented, but reinforced. What remains to be seen is whether performance alone can finally outweigh the architectural choices that defined its first decade. Ready to be amazed by the next groundbreaking construction project? Click on the video now and dive into a world where engineering and imagination collide. See you there.